Hi, this is David with the Discount Dragon, and I'm here today to give you a quick tutorial on Amazing Mold Putty, which actually is amazing. I wish I'd known about this stuff years ago. So we're going to do a really brief tutorial, and we're also going to give you a warning, which I don't think is included anywhere on the Amazing Mold Putty. It's not a hazard warning, it's a warning in terms of getting it to work properly. And it may not be anything you've run into before, but it's very important. So, to start off with, we've got Amazing Mold Putty, which you see here. We've got a little pink thing over the name of the product, so they don't sue us for showing copywritten products on our video. It's a small chance, but you never know if somebody's going to be an idiot that day. And we can't afford lawyers. So this is Amazing Mold Putty. You can get it at craft stores, such as Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any place that does that sort of stuff. And if you do get it there, I recommend getting it with one of their coupons, which generally everybody has like half off coupons every Sunday in the paper. So usually it's about 20 bucks. I usually get mine for around $10 or $12, which is not bad at all. Now, the Amazing Mold Putty comes in two components. There's a white one and there is a yellow one. And all you do, in order to form a pretty substantial rubber material, which you can use for molding a variety of different products, is you get a little bit of the white material and a little bit of the yellow material, an equal amount of both, which you'll have to kind of fiddle with to get it exactly even. And then you take them and knead them together. And you're going to want to do this relatively rapidly, because these, once they start combining, will cure in a very short time period, after which you're not going to make anything at all out of them. So, well, the balls aren't the same. Take some of the yellow off. A little less of the yellow. Now, one way you can speed this up, the measuring part of it, is to get two little measuring spoons that are identical. And then you scoop a little amount into each one of them. Got an equal amount in each measuring spoon. You've got equal amounts right off the bat. So here we are, I've got two roughly equal blobs. Now, for basic usage, Amazing Mold Putty is usable on small objects, such as buttons like this. They can copy the complex shapes very easily, and little decorative corners like that. So that's what I'm going to use it on. For this demonstration, I'll use it on this button. They're very good for small open-faced molds like this, because it cures very rapidly, and if you start trying to knead together a large quantity of it, you're going to have it curing and hardening before you can accomplish anything. Now, you can do larger molds. It takes a little bit of finesse, and I will deal with that in future videos. For now, we're not concerned with that. We're just concerned with the basic product and a few critical tips that you're going to need to know. So here I am kneading it together to get a uniform color. You can kind of use your own technique. And if you do it too long, which is not very long at all, it will harden up on you, and then you'll be totally out of luck and you'll just throw it away. So you take this, take your button or other small object, and you can either just press it on the front, or you can kind of wrap it around a bit to get a bit of the edges. This one here, since the front, I kind of pressed a little too hard, and the piece is coming through, I'll just take some and blob it back onto the front to make sure I get that whole front there. So we're going to get a decent impression off of this probably. It's not perfect, and I'm not really worrying about that, because this is not something that's critical. This is just a demonstration piece. So at this point, it's very soft and very pliable. And we'll let that sit for a minute. Now, here's the warning. This is something that I don't know if anybody else has mentioned or done a video about, and I did not notice it on the product itself. I have discovered that there are a few substances that will completely mess up Amazing Mold Putty and other similar putties. Now, Amazing Mold Putty is a silicone putty with a platinum catalyst. There are silicones with other catalysts, but if you're using Amazing Mold Putty or another silicone platinum catalyst rubber putty, here's what I found totally messes it up. If you are eating salsa or anything that has hot peppers on it, and you get the hot pepper oil on your hands, forget about it. You're just totally out of luck. You go take, okay, I'm eating a taco, just had a little salsa, I got some on my hands. You go to the washroom, you wash your hands off, you got completely clean hands. You go and work on your Amazing Mold Putty, and it just stays gooey slop forever. You have completely messed it up. And I learned this the hard way. Now, there's another one that I've run into that will completely spoil your mold putty, and that is lime juice or the oil from limes. I haven't done much experimentation, but personally I would stay away from any sort of citrus oil or citrus juice getting on your hands, and any sort of pepper oil or pepper liquids getting on your hands. So if you're eating tacos and you get even a little bit of salsa on your hands in the process, forget about it. Just wash your hands completely, and even then it may not do the trick. I mean, sometimes I've had to wash them over and over and over again before it even starts working properly. Now, if you get your mold putty or other platinum-based silicone putties contaminated, it may not just contaminate the surface. I've had large quantities of mold putty thoroughly contaminated by just a casual touch of hands that were contaminated with one of these oils. So you are definitely going to want to take precautions, otherwise you're just going to be throwing your money down the drain and frustrating yourself immensely. So one of the precautions I would recommend, don't touch your mold putty, at least not initially. Take some kind of utensil, like a plastic spoon, never touch the front of the spoon yourself, just scoop a little bit out. And this also plays into my other tip, which was to speed up the measuring process, use little plastic measuring spoons. So you probably want to get a very small measuring spoon, like a 1 gram scoop or something like that, and use that to scoop out little even scoops of the putty. That way you're not contaminating the mass of the putty itself. So if you think you're safe, you've washed your hands a couple times after eating tacos, you just scoop a little bit out of here, scoop a little bit out of there, mix them together and see if they cure. If they haven't cured in 5 or 10 minutes, then your cans are still contaminated, and you need to go cut them off and throw them away or something. It's really tough to get this stuff off your hands. But eventually, you take a little sample after you clean your hands again. Eventually, you can start using mold putty again. But it is really tough to get that stuff off completely. And even a microscopic amount will keep mold putty from curing. Okay, so use measuring spoons every time on this. Don't just scoop it in with your hands, which I had done foolishly. So citrus oil, specifically limes, probably lemons too, I haven't really tried it, and hot pepper oil, which I would take to mean any kind of salsa, especially spicy salsa. So just exercise precautions, and you can use your mold putty without going insane. So let's take a look at the piece we were working on. It has had time to cure, and as you can tell from the time we've been talking, that's a very short period of time. So it's nice and rubbery. We can just peel this off, and you can see we've got a whole lot of detail there. Now, if I was doing this for real, I would have taken the top of this and reinforced it with more mold putty so it was more rigid. It would still be very flexible, but it would be rigid enough that you could do things with it, like take Fimo or another oven-based clay and press it into there and then bake it in a toaster oven. This stuff here I will get into in more depth later on, but the Amazing Mold Putty and the similar platinum-based silicones, you can cast pewter directly into them, which is amazing. Also, you can cast chocolate, so you can get complex chocolate shapes, and of course, various oven-baked clays. It's really a versatile material, and it's really nice. It's food safe per the chocolate. So you can do a lot of stuff with the amazing mold putty, and we will be getting this into this in future videos. So for now, just be cautious about any sort of exotic oils and contaminants on your hand. Don't touch the main mass of your putty directly with your hands. Always use a measuring scoop, and don't touch the bowl of the measuring scoop with your hands. I've learned this the hard way, and I just wanted to pass that along to you to save you money and frustration. So that's my short tip on amazing mold putty today, and see you later.